Classic. Let's get going. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Monday morning wake and bake. I'm your host, Joey Blaze. We are live from my car in a parking lot somewhere in Boonesboro. I'll let you figure out where. Anyways, anyhow, anywho, let's get to it. Let's take a look at the scores of the weekend that was. Beginning 9 a.m., Marty Snook Park. First game of the day, a stunner. X-Dogs over Warriors, 20-19. Big upset. But if you know the X-Dogs, this was to be perhaps expected. Matt Eisenberg in November, man. We'll have more on that later in the week when we do our show. Second game of the day, it was Ruckus 12, Pure Chaos 6. Valiant effort by Chaos. They tried. They had a lot of fight in them. They didn't give up. They went toe to toe with a very experienced Ruckus team, and at the end of the day, just not enough to win. Shout out to Chaos, though. We'll have more on that later in the week. Third game of the day, Showtime. I left the field. I think it was like 39-7. I think it finished at 46-7. Could be wrong. It just one-sided, man. And I think it's what we expected. Showtime was going to come in and devour the winner of that previous game. Fourth game of the day, it was Misfits 13, Broadaxe 9. What a classic that was. Broadaxe playing old school Miller Lite Broadaxe football against a very, very talented Misfits team. But the Misfits never gave up. They didn't surrender and back down like most teams do to Broadaxe. In the end, they defeated them and advanced to the semifinals, where they're going to have a dog fight on their hands next week. And finally, and perhaps one of the greatest games in Washington County flag football playoff history, Spartans knocked off the program 21-20 in 5 overtimes. Insane game, ridiculous game, and one we'll have a lot to say about tomorrow night when we do the show. Yeah, we got a long week of shows ahead. Let's see how it all goes. Let's transition over real quick. Late on the same day, to those wondering what happened, the Brunswick Railroaders knocked off the Baltimore Rams 23-18 in semi-pro. The Railroaders, with the win, will advance to the ACFA Championship, where they'll take on the Keystone State Predators in a rematch from their matchup a few weeks ago. Looking forward to that one. Hopefully we're able to make it. We'll see how it goes. Moving on to the other game, the other day, I should say. The other game I covered Saturday night, the DMV Legends knocked off the Owls by a score of 18-6. As a result, the Legends are heading to the championship. Hey, shout out Jonathan Mensah. Jay Black is what he's known as. Plays for Rampage, plays for Misfits, also on the DMV Legends. He's got double duty next Saturday. He'll be playing for a flag championship in the morning and a semi-pro one at night. Give a big shout out to him, man. He's putting in the work in more than one style of football. Moving on now to Sunday's games. We'll start out in KFFL, 8 a.m. kickoff. Bees and Browns. Bees won 6-0. Very close game. From what I was told, a lot of them were missing key pieces. I know there was no Lurie from what I gathered for the Bees. I'm not sure if Houston was quarterback or who was. In the end, though, just not enough for the Browns, man. They were close to pulling off back-to-back wins, and I was about to give them some hype, because you got to start wondering, is the Browns starting to turn it around? Perhaps it's not too late to save this season. We'll see when we talk about that in the Keystone Show. Second game of the day, Reckless Villains knocked off the Green Machine. Not much really going there. Green Machine donutted 42-0. Wasn't even close. Game called in the third quarter. Just a total bloodbath. TJ Williams and company showing what they could do. Do they know where it's going to be played? Last I heard, Chris, they're talking about York again, which I can see that, because I think the Keystone State team is from York, and I think they'd rather play it in York and make Brunswick go up there instead of Brunswick making them come down here as a lower seed. I hope it ain't. I was hoping it'd be close by. It'd be good to see our boys get the win at home, but I get the feeling it's going to be in York. I'm still waiting to hear from Brian Swagger about it. We'll have him on. We do Railroad Report. And hopefully we can try to get somebody there for that. We'll see how it goes. Could be a busy weekend for Blunt Talk Media. We'll see. Moving on now, back to flag football. We're going to hit up Maffel real quick. Starting at 8 a.m. it was, or 9 a.m. Sorry, I'm used to Keystone times. It was in the first game I covered. WAC Rebels 8, T Petty 6. Petty goes down early to a WAC Rebels team that may have been 1-7, but they are loaded with talent. They are the most deceiving 1-7 team you ever face, and all the pieces came together. You got guys on there who were from PME and Anarchy, so like, you got Dio out there, man. WAC Rebels were loaded. They came firing. They were ready to go. They took out the T Petty in the first game, 8-6. On the other field, Southside eliminated Dream. I want to say I was 14-0. I thought I read. Could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. So Southside advancing to the semis. The other play-in game, or the semifinals round, I should say, 10 o'clock that happened. In the first game, the WAC Rebels, they knocked off Ride Out 14-12. So Ride Out, the 1 seed, they go down. WAC Rebels, man, they're making a run for it. Looks really good. Took out Ride Out, took out Petty. In the other bracket, Blackhawks defeated Southside. So that set the stage for a Blackhawks versus WAC Rebels championship. Which honestly, this was a thriller, one for the ages. Blackhawks were down 14-0 for the first 3 quarters. They were dead in the water. Did not look good. As I mentioned, WAC Rebels were loaded with talent. A lot of A bracket experience on that team. But you know, Blackhawks had some ballers themselves, man. And they fired back hard in that second half. That fourth quarter, they came back. 21 unanswered. All 3 scores in the final 9 plays on offense for Blackhawks. That's once every 3 plays they scored. What a comeback. Who can forget, before overtime, man. Dio had a perfect pass across the middle, but the referee said the ball was short of the end zone. He was down at the 1-inch line. And as soon as it happened, the WAC Rebels were just kind of discombobulated. They couldn't believe it. And they tried to hurry, but the clock ran out. Overtime, Blackhawks score. Rebels get down to the field. They're about to score. However, on 4th down, miscommunication. Ball goes incomplete. Game over. Your 2020 undisputed Maffel champions. The only Maffel champion of this year. The Blackhawks. We're going to have more on Blunt Talk. Hopefully we can hear from them. We're going to have a busy week of shows. So let's talk about what's going on. I'm way behind in editing at this point. I started a new job last week. So I'm going to be probably not as productive as I was back in the spring and summer when I was a little more unemployed. I'm going to try to have some content out there. Probably this morning I'm going to edit a video before I go to work. So that way I can at least, like, you know, get some actual content out there. Stretch real quick. God damn. Shows this week, we're looking at Railroad Report, Blunt Talk for County, Blunt Talk for Maffel, Keystone Corner, possibly an ECFA show, we'll see. And we are right now discussing with the captains of the Turkey Bowl to see when an appropriate day is to meet and talk about the plans, so that way we can move forward with the draft and set it all up. The draft will be on Zoom. We're trying to get it done ASAP. Could be this week, could be next week. We'll see. So that's the update. We'll be live again this weekend, starting at 9 a.m. for County for 3 games. We may be in York too. We'll see. There is a possibility that I might I might go somewhere else. We'll see. I gotta figure it all out. I know Brunswick's playing. We're gonna be crowning 3 champions on Saturday here at Blunt Talk Media. Champions Month is wild, man. It is crazy. It has been an awesome month so far. We really look forward to it. Gonna be a good time. Champions Month is here. Let's get it going. So anyways, until next show, I'm Joey Blaze. Have a good morning.